Let's go ahead and call this meeting to order. I want to apologize to everybody that we're running just a little bit late tonight, but we've had some students we've been honoring, and thank you very much for your cooperation. The first thing I want to do is let the record reflect that this meeting was posted as required by the Texas Open Meeting Records Act. And also, the second item is that by law, we're supposed to establish that we have a quorum, and we do have a quorum tonight. So those two items we need to address. The next thing on the agenda is a moment of silence. So I'd like to ask everyone, please, take a few seconds here, and we'll take a moment of silence. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. And at this time, I'd like to call on Mr. Strubhart to introduce our person to do the Pledge of Allegiance tonight. Thank you.
Mr. President, board members, Dr. Cavazos, administration, and audience. Tonight's pledge will be led by Treasure Hill's 5th grade student, Alexis Garza. Alexis is the daughter of Jaime and Belma Garza. She is an honor student at Treasure Hills Elementary and is active in our school and community. She is a member of the Future Health Professions Program, the school's ORF Ensemble, and the All-City Choir. She is also a multi-sport athlete, competing in both basketball and soccer. Alexis is a proud Treasure Hills Elementary pirate, whose favorite subject is science and who hopes to work in the medical field someday as either a pharmacist or a veterinarian. Ladies and gentlemen, Alexis Garza.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you, Alexis. And we want to commend you. It's really outstanding, all of your accomplishments, to be such a top student and all the other activities that you do. That's very difficult to accomplish. And thank you for being a bright star for our school district and a great representative. We appreciate you. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is awards and recognitions. And at this time, the recognition of PTSA Student of the Month for January. Mr. Strubhart.
Thank you, Mr. President, board members, Dr. Cavazos, administration, and audience. Tonight, we recognize our January Students of the Month from Harlingen High School South, and Early College High School.
My name is Alexa Angel, and I'm a senior at Harlingen High School. I've been in Cardets for 2 years, and I'm currently in the CNA program here.
My name is Mariela Maritza Mireles. I am a senior attending at Harlingen High School. I am president of the Harlingen Big Red Cardinal Band, a trumpet section leader, member of the Student Council organization, a member of National Technical Honor Society, and a member of the youth group at Queen of Peace.
I've learned to take care of other people. I've learned that there are many different kind of people here in the world, and I also learned that it's a team effort to put in everything that you do.
I enjoy participating in a lot of organizations because it gives me an opportunity to really work with a lot of people, and it gives me an idea for future projects to work as a team.
I'm very passionate about healthcare and helping others and what I can do for others. And I really want to help children and own my own practice.
I'm very passionate about giving a helping hand and spreading kindness among other people, and to just not give up on the long run, to just keep going.
I plan on attending UTRGV because it's really close to home, and I know that I can achieve my goals there, and I want to become a pediatrician.
After I graduate high school, I plan to attend Texas A&M University in Corpus Christi and major in marine biology and oceanography.
My name is Rebecca Garcia. I'm a senior at Harlingen High School South. I participate in NTHS, PTSA, varsity orchestra.
My name is Fernando Chavez. I'm a senior at Harlingen High School South. I'm in NTHS, PTSA, and varsity orchestra, and I'm on the swim team and the basketball team.
I've learned to always have friends and to time management and always be working and trying your best to stay good. Basically
just leadership, because like on the swim team you have to show leaderships, and basketball you always have to show leadership, and orchestra and PTSA and all that stuff. That's the main thing that I've learned from. I'm passionate about having an education to reach all my goals in life. Personally, I'm passionate about music. It's just something that you can always go to. So, I mean, I play the guitar, the cello, the ukulele, just things. It gets my mind off of things sometimes when things get rough. I plan on going to either Our Lady of the Lake or Incarnate Word to do speech therapy. I'm planning on attending UTSA and majoring in chemistry.
My name is Kimberly Azua. I'm in 12th grade and I attend Early College High School. Inside of school, I'm in senior class cabinet, I'm president, and I'm in student council, I'm a member, and National Honor Society, I'm the vice president.
My name is Martin Fonseca and I go to Early College High School and I'm a senior. In school, I was in robotics. I'm in yearbook club. I'm also in FBLA, NHS, and I was going to be in rocketry. I've
learned a lot of leadership, to just be a leader and to be organized a lot and just to listen to people, because being vice president and president, it's more of like you have to listen to the people in order to get things done sometimes. It's pretty much leadership. I've been for the yearbook club, I'm digital editor, so I'm kind of in charge of the yearbook itself. We have to organize the pages and who's going to do them. I'm passionate about helping people. I think it's more because I've been through a lot and I've never actually had someone there for me other than my mom. So it's more of like, I want to help people get through the hard times and guide them through the good times also. Well, I really like biology. I really like how, I'm really interested in how like the human body works and like its functions and how every single detail like helps another. I've actually enlisted into the military, but I did get accepted into Norwich University, which is a private military college up in Vermont. So if the military doesn't work out, I can always go to Norwich. I'm planning on majoring in psychology. Actually, we're in the Baylor University in Waco. I'm going to go to that university. But right now my major is general biology.
If there are any students of the month here tonight, would you please rise and be recognized? Thank you, students. And if there are any parents of these students here tonight, would you please stand and be recognized? Mr. President, would you do us the honor of having the board come forward for a group photo with the students of the month?
Sure would.
Students, would you come forward, please?
Okay, thank you very much, and congratulations to all the students of the month. I think everybody, also I understand one of the students is headed for Bird Bowl tonight.
That's
so,
right.
So I'm glad he took time to come, and he'll barely make tip-off, so. Okay, the next item on the agenda is again Mr. Strubhart and Ms. Galvan, and we're going to recognize Accelerated Reader Millionaires.
Oh, it's just. That's not Mr. Schwartz.
Yeah. Thank
Good
you.
evening, Mr. President, board members, Dr. Cavazos, administrators, and audience. In a few moments, we will recognize students who have become Accelerated Reader Millionaires during the first semester of this school year. But before we do that, let me tell you a little bit about Accelerated Reader and how a word count is determined. Accelerated Reader is a computer-based testing program. Students select books at their own reading level, and they read them on their own pace. When they finish, they take a test, short quiz on the AR program, and a word count is then generated at the end of every test. We have calculated all the number of words read from the AR, and tonight we recognize students who have read over 1 million words. To become a millionaire in a little over 4 months is quite an accomplishment for these students. We know college readiness begins with early childhood literacy. Absolutely. By giving students a solid foundation in reading, you place them on the path toward success in elementary, secondary, and higher education. As Dr. Cavazos always says, readers are leaders. Students, thank you for being a reader, and thank you for being a leader on your campus. Mr. President and Dr. Cavazos, would you please come forward to help us recognize these outstanding students? Students, when I call your name, please come forward. From Austin Elementary with 1,834 words, 5th grader, Jackson Hughes. From Austin Elementary, 1,291 words, 4th grader, Carlos Peters. From Sam Houston Elementary with 1,149 words, 5th grader, Joshua Rodriguez. From Jefferson Elementary with 1,549 words, 5th grader, Uday Lopez Hasso. He couldn't be with us tonight. From Jefferson Elementary with 1,345 words, 5th grader, Abigail Alvarado. He couldn't be with us tonight. From Jefferson Elementary, 1,218 words, 5th grader, Alejandro Mendoza, who couldn't be with us tonight. From Jefferson Elementary, 1,101 words, 5th grader, Andrea Sanchez, who couldn't be with us tonight. From Jefferson Elementary, 5th grader, with 1,116,000 words, 5th grader, Jaime Araiza, who could not be with us tonight. From Long Elementary with 1,403,000 words, 4th grader Emiliano Casiano. From Long Elementary with 1,112,000 words, fifth grader Enrique Casiano. From Rodriguez Elementary, our youngest member, a third grader, with 1,119,000 words, third grader Caleb Garcia. From Stewart Place Elementary, 1,330,000 words, fourth grader Jonathan Garcia. From Treasure Hills Elementary, with 1,637,000 words, fourth grader Emma Moreno.
Y'all hurt your back, Greg.
From Treasure Hills Elementary, 1,603,000 words, fifth grader Joyce McCalling. From Treasure Hills Elementary, 1,420,000 words, fourth grader Joseph Gilbert. From Treasure Hills Elementary, 1,189,000 words, fifth grader Ryan McMinn. From Treasure Hills Elementary, 1,019,000 words, fifth grader Mariana Garcia. From Treasure Hills Elementary, 1,036,000 words, fifth grader Gavin Villarreal. The following students are multimillionaires. That means they have over 2 million words that they've read. From Bonham Elementary, 2,083,000 words, 5th grader, Guadalupe Esparza. From Sam Houston Elementary, 2,993,000 words, 5th grader, Carlos de Leon. From Lamar Elementary, 2,806,000 words, 5th grader, Eric Arias. From Lamar Elementary, 2,137,000 words, 5th grader, Julio Ramirez. From Lamar Elementary, 2,006,000 words, 4th grader, Sofia Castillo. From Travis Elementary, 2,058,000 words, 5th grader, Sydney Todd. Stewart Place Elementary, with the highest words read, 3,209,000 words. 5th grader, Celinda Burbach. Congratulations, students.
Wow. Congratulations.
Mr. President, board members, can we have all the board members come forward for a group photo?
Yep.
was telling the Shane that when I was there, I think I read about maybe 72 words, if I was lucky.
We were in the 100 group. 100 words.
Everybody look over here first, then we'll get the parents. Everybody, all kids, over here. Look over here, look at me. Look over here, my hand. That's right. Right here. Look over here, 1, 2, 3. Big smile, I want to see some teeth. Does everybody have teeth? There we go, all right. Let me see some teeth. 1, 2, 3. Get 2 more, need some more teeth. 1, 2, 3. Last one, big smile right here. 1, 2, 3. Now the parents.
Wow, why so many?
I beat Javier.
Yeah, how about the 57, 58? Great. Before they leave.
Thanks. Thank you. Are they neat? Mr. Powers? Before they leave, Nathan.
Hold on, students, before you leave, if you would. Whoa, all the students, hold on just a second. This is a really big deal. And we are, as a board, this district and the superintendent and the staff, we are so proud of you. And there's some board members that want to congratulate you and make some comments. So if you would sit down for just a few seconds, we all want to tell you how special you really are. And I'm going to start with Mrs. Fleurier. Okay?
Thank you, boys and girls. I do want to say congratulations and how important this is. You know, there's just all sorts of research that says the more words you read and the better your vocabulary is, the more successful you're going to be in whatever you choose to do, whatever your career is, whether it's math and science or whether it's being an English teacher like Mr. Hughes. Whatever you do, it's going to matter that you really enjoy reading, that you've learned lots and lots and lots and lots of words, millions of words by this age. So we just want to tell you we are so proud of you. And I want to thank the superintendent and the school district because I'm not sure we've honored the millionaires before at the school board. Yeah. And I'm so proud that that's what we're doing because that's what matters to us. So congratulations to you and to your parents. And I would just love to know what everybody's favorite book is. So congratulations.
Mr. McShann?
I truly want to express appreciation on behalf of the board, the fact that reading really is a key to your success in life. Parents, Raise your hand if you're a parent. Okay, very well. All right, there must be a grandparent or two in here as well. Is there any grandparents in here? All right. I can tell you that what you're doing, keep on doing it. There are no shortcuts to reading. You know, you can Google things, but you know what I mean. It's very important that you continue to value reading. You know, as a grandparent and as many, many years ago, our own children, the one that read a lot did very, very well. My son, he read some, but he liked to play football. He did okay. But it's so important that you value this. And students, we're so proud of you. You're millionaires. Some of you are multimillionaires. My goodness, congratulations to you.
Mr. De Leon?
Thank you, Mr. President. I also just want to add that I was in the club too, but I was in the 100 club. But so you all totally outbeat us. But one of the things I want to stress, and every single one of y'all are on Channel 17, and I want everyone to know what that millionaire club consists of and what it equates to in terms of books. And I was asking one of the young ladies, and the one that had 3 million books, 3 million points, that equated to about 78 books. So 2 million books is about, what, 50 books, 40 books? That's a lot of books, and that's a lot of dedication. A lot of times where you could be doing a lot of things outside, you're dedicating yourself and you're taking that extra step, you're going that extra mile to continue learning, and that's just amazing. And there's a lot of things that we can learn from each and every single one of you. So congratulations, and we are so very proud of each and every single one of you. Keep it up.
Again, you know, it's been said many times, and tonight's been said many times, but reading is the foundation of all learning. And it's been proven statistically that those of you, you know, we didn't look at your report cards, but I guarantee you, all of y'all, I see your principals here, are at the top of your class, and it's because you read. And it's the foundation of everything, of learning. One thing I want to tell the parents is that I think, Mr. Strubhart, they can go on the website and get copies of these photographs tonight, or check on the website tomorrow, and if you have trouble, call Mr. Strubhart, okay?
430. Congratulations to all of you. Great job.
Great job. Congratulations. We want to see y'all back here next year, all of you in the Multimillionaires Club, so thank you again. The next item on our agenda tonight is recognition of Harlingen High School Varsity Men's Choir, who has a special invitation to perform at the 2015 Texas Music Administrators Conference. Dr. Sabrina Quintana, please.
President Powers, Dr. Cavazos, Superintendent, the senior team, board members, and members of the audience, thank you so much for allowing us to give this presentation this evening. I would like to segue into this next segment by mentioning that so much of what is expected in education today is also satisfied through choral singing, and this art of singing is often misunderstood. To be able to read music and decode the language of music requires a great deal of numeracy and literacy skills, and really exercises that cognitive ability. We just happen to have an exemplary program, a choral program at Harlingen High School. It has a reputable history of excellence throughout the state of Texas. This history is attributed to the work of notable choral directors Charles Nelson, Diane Brumley, and now Denise Pitcock, who have consistently provided quality artistic leadership and high expectations of achievement for the Harlingen High School choral program. Mr. Charles Nelson, the head choral director throughout the 1950s, was an internationally famed professional singer and choral director who brought the first sweepstakes trophies, still on display today, in the choir rehearsal suite. After Mr. Nelson left to teach at the Abilene Christian University, Mr. Robert Irby served his tenure as choral director in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s. Mr. Irby was the founding member of the Texas Music Adjudicators Association and a founding member of the Texas Choral Directors Association, for whom he also served as the vice president. He also started our AP Music Theory program that is now thriving in both of our high schools. Following Mr. Irby's retirement, Mrs. Brumley served as the head choral director in the 1980s and 90s. She continued to develop the tradition of superior standards and took the Harlingen High School choral program to the next level when her choirs were selected as a TMEA honor choir in 1990, followed by a 1991 invitation from the American Choral Directors Association to perform as a national honor choir. The Harlingen High School choral program continues to flourish under Miss Denise Pitcock when she accepted the position as head choral director in 2006. She has served in a number of leadership capacities, including serving as region and area vocal chair. And in 2010, the Harlingen High School Women's Choir was selected as a TMEA honor choir. Presently, the choral program is known to be exemplary throughout the state of Texas under Ms. Pitcock's direction, with Assistant Choral Director Mr. Joel Lamar Cruz and accompanist Mr. Michael Ensign. Ms. Pitcock has developed a very high degree of vocal and artistic standard throughout the choral division. Members of the choral program have consistently achieved sweepstakes ratings at UIL contests and have had successful auditions, leading them to become TMEA All-State Choir members. They have also earned Best in Class awards and consistently receive high ratings at the UIL's Texas State Solo and Ensemble Contest. The Harlingen High School Varsity Men's Choir is an integral part of this historical strong tradition of choral music excellence in HCISD and throughout the state. In fact, under Mr. Joel Cruz's leadership, the varsity men are a small but mighty ensemble made up of nearly 20 very talented young men, singers in grades 10 through 12. In addition to earning numerous musical achievements and other notable engagements that they have been invited to, include an invitation to perform as guest artists at the UTPA Men's Chorus Festival later this month. We are honored that once again, history has repeated itself. The Harlingen High School Varsity Men's Choir was selected as a 2015 TMEA Honor Choir. This evening's performance marks the 25th anniversary since that first TMEA performance conducted by Mrs. Brumley in 1990, and the 5th anniversary since Harlingen High School's last appearance as an honor choir conducted by Ms. Pitcock in 2010. A tribute to their success, these gentlemen will perform on Thursday, February the 12th, in San Antonio as a Texas Music Educators Association honor choir, marking the 4th time in the 100-year history of Harlingen High School Choral Department when a choral ensemble was invited to perform as a high-profile honor choir. We celebrate this wonderful, highly competitive, outstanding accomplishment, once again a testament of excellence in the HCISD choral program. Please join me in welcoming the Harlingen High School Varsity Men's Choir and their conductor, Mr. Joel Cruz.
In the merry month of June. From home I started, left the girls at once, and here she wrote it, how it's a loot to father dear. She's sweet hearted mother, drank a pint of beer, he grieved his tears to smother them. Off to reach the born and leave where I was born. Comes to stop like on to vanish, goes a couple of brand new pair of bros. Traps on all the walls, the flags and all the dogs on the rocky road. She's doubling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hair and turn her down the rocky road and all the way to Dublin, back for Lord and long. And down the next a ride I thought it such a pity to be so soon behind of you on that fine city. When I took the stroll among the quality, he wondered it was fallen underneath locality. Something crossed me mind, and then I looked behind. No bundle could I find. On we stick, only parting for the road. They said my corner broke, it wasn't much in vogue on the rocky road. To Dublin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once the hair and turn her down the rocky road, and all the way to Dublin, back for Lord and long. What for Lord along? The boys of Liverpool, when we safely landed, called me son of bull. I could no longer stand it, blood began to boil. Temper I was losing, for on Erin's Island they began abusing Burrami boys. Shenega, some Galway boys were eyes. Hooray, they joined in the affray and quickly paved the way for the rocky road to Dublin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once the hill and turned her down the rocky road and all the way to Dublin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once the hill and turned her down the rocky road and all the way to Dublin, 1 for Lord de long. Tulaman, I've been a Tulaman, I've been a Bigale, Tulaman, I fight a Tulaman, I've been a Bigale. Rocky make a little Tulaman, can a brook a dead as a Tulaman, Tulaman, I've been a big Tulaman, I've been a Bigale, Tulaman, I fight a Tulaman, I've been a Bigale. Rock a brag a duba, Tulaman, the bar, and I was through the Tulaman, Tulaman, I've been a big Tulaman, I've been a Bigale, Tulaman, I fight a Tulamana, bene bigela, Tulamana, bene bitulamana, bene bigela, Tulamana, bene bitulamana, bene bigela, Tulamana, bene bitulamana, bene bigela, Tulamana, fake Tulamana, bene bigela, Tulamana, bene bitulamana, bene bigela, Tulamana, bene bitulamana, bene bigela. Can we all Dulaman get the dark who's where Dulaman well? Dulaman, bene Dulamana, bene Bigela, Dulaman, Farake Dulamana, bene Bigela, Dulamana, bene Dulamana, bene Bigela, Dulamana, bene Dulamana, bene Bigela, Dulamana, bene Dulamana. Tulamana, farake Tulamana, bene bigela. Tulamana, bene bitulamana, bene bigela. Tulamana, bene bitulamana, bene bigela.
Mr. Cruz, what an incredible group. Y'all stay here for a minute, please. All of y'all stay here for a minute, because there's going to be a couple people. I'm going to be shocked if Ms. Fleurier doesn't have a few words. So, we all do. That was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you got to be so proud of these guys. I mean, man, you guys are first place anywhere. I'm going to let Mrs. Fleurier start out, and because we just are so proud of you. So.
Oh, thank you. This is so exciting. I mean, my, talk about the best of the best, and I'm thrilled. I think I see the press is here. This is just phenomenal. Thank you so much for all the hard work that led to this. Again, talking about the research, there's no question you all are at the top. And we're so proud. And when you go to San Antonio in just a few days, please know that you take with you all of not just our support, but our love. You know, you are forever in our hearts now. We will never forget this performance tonight. We're so thrilled that people are going to see it. Thank you, Javier de Leon, from many years ago saying we need to have these meetings on television. This is why we need to have the meetings on television. Fabulous. And I want to thank Dr. Quintana for that wonderful walk down memory lane. It is so worthy to remember those upon whose shoulders we stand. And we do stand upon the shoulders of the individuals you mentioned. Many of us know these people very well. And how proud they would be. How proud they would be of this moment in time. Thank you for giving this to us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. De Leon?
You know, it was so inspiring. I wanted to jump over this thing and start singing. But one, I didn't know the words. And two, I would have messed it up because I have a lousy voice. But
he could have danced.
That's right.
But it was awe-inspiring. It was just amazing. And like Ms. Fleury said, I think this is the very first time that you all come over here and perform. And it just brightens up our board meeting. And I think it's just going to cast us all the way to tonight. So thank you very much, and we're very proud of you. And when you go out there and you represent, you know, us being even a small little part, jumping on your little bandwagon, guy, it just makes us feel great. So keep up the great work, and we're proud of each and every single one of you. Thank you.
I just want to say, guys, hey, really, when we think about the arts, so important. We think about public education. Academics are very important, but without the arts, where would we be? Y'all make us so proud, and I know you're going to represent us so well. This school district, certainly your parents, the entire community is so proud of you. So congratulations to you.
Mrs. Young?
This is one of the groups that caused me to have a really hard time to decide that I was going to retire because I would no longer be able to go to Washington, D.C. with the choir. I would no longer be able to go to somewhere else I went with, and Mr. Swinney was with us that time, and he drove us all over New York City until he could find me a Dr. Pepper. Now that's true dedication. Y'all did a super job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Cavazos.
Well, what can I say? You all make us very proud. You do what we often say, represent us well. You put Harlingen on the map. We're so proud of you. I thought the picture looked great, but you all look awesome in person. So give yourselves a hand for that. That's right. Give yourselves a hand. And so while Mr. De Leon said that he would have joined you, I always wanted to sing. And every time I see a choir, I said, you know, I could have done that. So no regrets. You leave everything in San Antonio and show them what you're made of. We're super proud of you, and I'll see you in San Antonio on Thursday.
Thank you.
I just want to add just a tiny bit of what Ms. Fleury said to Dr. Quintana. Thank you for the walk down memory lane. I'm dating myself, but Mr. Irby was the choir director at Harlingen High School when I attended school there. And of course, I know Diane Brumley very well.
Diane,
and
yes.
all the characters and the people that you named. Earlier tonight, we honored the rising stars in our room next door, and Dr. Cavazos left them with a very important message, and it really shines here with you guys. Wherever you go, you carry the brand of our school district, not just your high school, but at the Harlingen Consolidated Independent School District. So you wear it well, and you represent us extremely well. So we'll all be watching and listening for how you do in San Antonio, and it's you guys, people like you, and your performance and your hard work that makes us the district that we are. So thank you all very much.
Congratulations.
I have one last request, if I could. Today is a monumental day. We have a superintendent that, despite his gray hair, he turned 39 years old.
Don't laugh, it's true.
Actually 50, but anyway. And since we've got the best of the best here, we were wondering if you could sing him happy birthday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
That's great.
In English.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Superintendent. Happy birthday to you.
One more request. First, we want to get a picture with you and Dr. Cavazos, since it's his birthday, and then the board would like to get a picture with you and Dr. Cavazos so we can put it up in our hallway outside. Okay?
Does that mean that we don't sing to him happy birthday? Because they
You all sang
blew us out of
for
the
the
water.
rest of them. That's awesome.
Craig, may I just, while they're lining up, say something? Oh, yeah. While they're lining up, I would just like to share, we would like to share with the audience here and on Channel 17, this is the most fabulous program that they are taking to San Antonio. Talk about a classy publication. This is fabulous. So congratulations to our graphics department and to Sam Vargas. Wow, did you all do a great job.
Art, get down in the middle.
Yeah, you can get in.
He's afraid he'll look like he's 50.
Put him in the middle, Shane. Man, that was beautiful. Yeah.
41st birthday.
So you can't.
Get one in the middle. Where he stands out with that gray hair. Hold on, Bernie.
I was going to go this year. I really was, but.
Give her throw it, give him 3. Hey, where's Julio? Oh, is he? Is he really?
Come on, Mr. Cruz. Come on, get over here. Hey, this is your group. Get in here.
What language were they singing? Dutch? Yeah. How long did it take them to learn that?
Mrs. Quintana, are you still here?
Dr. Quintana?
Dr. Quintana, there she is.
Oh, she's right here.
Dr. Quintana, would you please send us all an email of the results? Because we all want to find out, because
I would be more than pleased
Thank you
to
so
send you
much.
a report, and I will personally purchase a DVD of the performance.
Yes.
And we'll just schedule a special showing of that
Oh,
sometime.
that's great. Send the bill to Dr. Cavazos.
Wrong chair, Mr.
That was very good.
Okay.
Good job.
All right, the next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. I know everyone's had in their packets the January 13th and February 13th, 2015 regular board meeting, January 13th, and the special board meeting, February 3rd, 2015. Are there any corrections or additions to these minutes? If there's none, the president will entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I make a motion for approval of the minutes on January 13th, 2015 and February 3rd, 2015.
A second motion.
All right, moved by Mr. De Leon and seconded by Mrs. Fleury. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Minutes are approved. The next item is our principal's report from Mr. Roland Ingram with Treasure Hills Elementary.
Happy.
Wow. Now you need to finish it.
So this is my first presentation with glasses, so bear with me. I'm not used to this. Shane left. He and I are going to have words later about where he put me on the agenda. After that show, Shane really, wow, those guys were awesome.
They were.
Well, I'm here to, good evening, I'm here to present to you guys tonight. And let me just pull up my presentation. Indeed. Mr. President, board members, Dr. Cavazos, administration, and audience. Baseball great Jackie Robinson once said, "A life is not important except in the impact it has on other lives." Literary great Mark Twain said, "The two most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why." In a way, these two quotes represent the motivational force behind the Future Health Professionals Academy. We're going to maximize. There we go. I'm honored to speak to you tonight about the journey we have taken this past year and to tell you about one of the many great things happening in the Harlingen Consolidated Independent School District. In January of 2014, our district was approached by Janine Marie, president of the Harlingen Area Educational Foundation, about the possibility of partnering with HCISD and one of its elementary schools to create a future doctor's program. In particular, they were interested in partnering with Treasure Hills because of its proximity to the hospital district. In our initial conversation, we discussed things in very general terms and made very few decisions, but one thing we all agreed on was that we would move forward, our organizations hand in hand. Dr. Felix Rivera, a local neurologist and foundation board member, became our contact for the initiative. It seems that he was particularly excited about the possibilities that existed with this partnership. Soon thereafter, we invited Dr. Rivera to Treasure Hills for a visit. We wanted him to see the campus and to meet its students and staff, and we, in turn, wanted to hear his story and the reason for his enthusiasm. We had a wonderful visit, and there was a great deal of excitement about all of the possibilities, but there were still a great many details to work out. You know, occasionally the stars align on projects. We believe that is what occurred with this program. Not so much because of the scope of the project, but rather because of the timing of it. We were in the midst of change in HCISD, having just adopted a strategic plan guided by the vision of our superintendent, Dr. Arturo Cavazos, and our board of trustees to transform learning for global achievement. A key component of that transformation was the opening of HCISD's School of Health Professions. It made sense, given our goals, to see how the idea of a health professionals academy might fit into that transformation. Our next meeting, therefore, was with the district's chief academic officer, Dr. Alicia Noyola, and School of Health Professions principal, Mrs. Tina Garza. These were very productive meetings and helped to give our program much needed focus. Mrs. Garza, Dr. Rivera, and I continued to meet over the summer, chipping away at the little details. Early on, we decided that the title of Future Doctors Academy was too restrictive and settled instead on the Future Health Professionals Academy. This would allow for a broader scope of presenters. We also decided that we would keep the academy relatively small, focusing only on fifth graders who went through an application process, and that would be held outside of normal school hours, specifically on 2 Saturdays a month. The basic model was lecture and activity on one Saturday, followed by a bigger activity in the field on the following Saturday. The intention was to create a model that could be duplicated at additional schools and for additional fields of study. This in turn would allow elementary schools to support HCISD's transformation. Specifically, we would be supporting Goal 4, Specific Result 5, aligning activities at all levels to promote college and career readiness, and Goal 5, Specific Result 2, connecting the community and the district with innovative approaches addressing the educational needs of students. An added bonus would be the opportunity to highlight our new School of Health Professions. What excited us most, however, was to potentially be a part of, as Mark Twain put it, helping our fifth graders find out why. One of the most encouraging aspects of the Future Health Professionals Academy thus far has not just been the wonderful experiences our students have had, but also the number of people that have helped to make those experiences possible. We've had a school board member, our administrators for secondary and elementary education and various administration throughout the district, members of the community, parents and teachers, even HCISD graduates. Right there you have 2 of our presenters who were former HCISD students. Now one is finishing medical school and one is a pharmacist in town. All of these people were making deposits of human currency and helping to add value to the students of Harlingen Consolidated Independent School District and to Treasure Hills Elementary. Those same students speak to the value in the following video. We hope you enjoy.
What we're doing today is we're having a number of the fifth graders from Treasure Hills Elementary School, which is right across from where our simulation hospital is, coming in and showing them some of the different aspects of medicine and allied health professions that they might be interested in. We're trying to generate them starting to think about what the possible careers they can have. And I'm here today to do some hands-on with them, both in the simulation lab and with some little suturing pads to get them a feel of what some of the healthcare professions might be. I think it's absolutely wonderful. I think the younger the better, because by the time you get to high school, you kind of have an idea of what you want to be, because you've been exposed obviously to a few more years in life. This way they can start formulating and planning ahead for where they want to be when they do get to high school and which high school they'd like to go to.
This program is helping us make choices for when we're older. It's just getting us a head start in learning about the medical field. I think it's very important to learn it now, so that way when you get older you can have your decisions made and be ready for what's in the future. I've always had a passion for helping people. Not a lot of kids have chances like this, so I thought it was a great idea that they had this and a great opportunity for them.
Ever since I was little, I've wanted to be a doctor because I've always looked up at my mom, who is a doctor, and I'm interested in what she does.
I want to do something to change the world. I want to help other people. I want to find a disease or a cure for cancer. I've learned about all these chemicals, all these things we're going to be doing with surgery and all that. I would describe it cool, awesome, and very fun.
The program is designed to expose students in the 5th grade and currently at Treasure Hills only to the different types of professions and the pathway that we're providing here at Harlingen School of Health Professions. Part of the experiences that they offer them here is going to open their eyes to different things that maybe they never even thought of them being able to accomplish. So I think the exposure and the experiences that they'll have here are going to let them know that this is something that's very, very capable, or they're very capable of accomplishing. So I think that it's critical that they come in as early as they are so that they can at least start seeing things and experiencing things.
At this time, I would like to take a moment to recognize and thank any of my students and parents, teachers, staff, whoever who was able to make it tonight, and also any individuals in the audience who have shown and continue to show their support for this program. It is because of them and their efforts that we are now motivated to try and expand on this model of success and possibly delve into other areas. So if anybody involved in the program could stand up so I could give you a round of applause. Mr. President, board members, Dr. Cavazos, it's been a sincere pleasure speaking to you tonight. At this time, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have to the best of my ability.
Mrs. Flourier?
Roland, that's absolutely fabulous, and I would personally like to thank Dr. Steele Smoking, who's even here tonight with us. That's just wonderful, another hero for Harlingen schools. Students, you are so fortunate. You're just so fortunate. You're so fortunate to be able to be in this program, which leads to my question. What are our plans for expanding the program, and what do you see in the future?
Well, what I see in the future is certainly something similar to this at all of the elementaries. I'm thinking big picture, of course, but I see no reason why a 5th grader can't have a vision for themselves to give themselves a focus going into what is now a very crucial year in the 6th grade year at the junior highs. You know, the spectrum is moving. Everything is shifted, and I think that in this world that we live in, 5th graders have the ability to have much more focus. So I see it expanding to other schools and then into other fields. I would love to see something in science, technology, engineering, math, something in education, something in all of the wonderful opportunities we have at the high school, covering all of those areas as well.
President, I certainly want to thank you, Mr. Ingram. You know, he's a happy principal.
Oh, boy.
You didn't get the Grammy. Maybe you should have, But you're doing an excellent job, Roland. We appreciate what you're doing. And I really want to reflect, and there are actors here. I see students, those of you who were in the video, would you stand? Students? Yeah, all right. That's so important. We're so proud of you, and as I reflect, I remember Dr. Steele Smoking when we had the big press conference and what have you, and you were there. This was back earlier, I guess in summer. I can't recall. Yeah, in May, and everything rolled out. We really appreciate you taking the time to be here, to come to a school board meeting. My goodness, we appreciate that. We appreciate that very much. And on a personal note, I saw Dr. Kano is here, so your son is, your family is here, grandma was here too? I recognize those folks. We go way back. And I tell you, conversation. My daughter was in medical school, I think, and she was thinking about going to medical school. Is that right? Had the conversation. Now she's a doctor. Right. So that's just amazing the connection we make when we look at memory lane and reflect that this is something that Harlingen CISD. Back in the you might say 30, 40 years ago when we only had health fairs. We didn't have the technology, we just had to kind of do it best we could. But thinking about where we are now, and what the promise is for the young people, really is, the future's bright. So we thank you all so very much for what you do. We really appreciate you, and thank you very much.
I just want to add, great report. You're doing a phenomenal job at Treasure Hills. I talked to Mr. Ingram before the meeting tonight, and he informed me, I just casually asked him, I said, how close are you to full enrollment at your school? And he said, I'm full. I said, well, all grades? He said, all grades. And then he told me that he's brought home 17 kids this year that had left our district that have come back, that live in the Treasure Hills area. So that's a tribute to you and your staff for a phenomenal job. So we appreciate it and keep doing the good work. We're going to have to build another wing out there, it looks like. So thank you very much for a great report.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item on our agenda, of the consent agenda, is there any comments or matters on that? Otherwise, the chair will entertain a motion to approve it.
I move approval of the consent agenda.
Moved by Mrs. Fleurier,
Second.
seconded by Mr. De Leon. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, consent agenda is approved. Number next is 7, matters relating to transformation and school support. Dr. Cavazos, please, on our Transforming Teaching and Learning Committee report.
Yes, Mr. President, board members, senior team, and of course the audience, on our Transforming Teaching and Learning Committee meeting, we had 2 items presented. Dr. Alicia Noyola presented a status report on the design teams that were assembled as part of the strategic planning process. The design teams have been working diligently to ensure the specific result statements outlined in the strategic plan are being addressed. Action items continue to come forth through the design teams and then presented at the Transforming Teaching and Learning Committee. Dr. Noyola also presented a very comprehensive overview of the role of the design teams in ensuring fidelity to implementation of our strategic plan. Second item that was discussed and reviewed was enhancing the talent acquisition. In that presentation, Mrs. Corton outlined a new application process called AppliTrack that is being considered to enhance our current work in the area of talent acquisition and the Human Services Department. This new program will allow and give access to the applicants and give an opportunity to them to submit video archives of their work, also to submit video recordings responding to some pre-screening questions. This will facilitate the process of applying for employment here in Harlingen CISD and continues our momentum to the talent acquisition event that we have planned for April 11th. Her comprehensive report also included the need to continue to streamline our pre-screening process and ensure that not only do we retain the very best, but that we acquire the very best talent. And so thank you to Dr. Noyola for a great presentation, and of course Veronica Corton. Future meetings are being discussed, topics with our chair, who is not here today, Dr. Nolan Perez. It was a great meeting, and I appreciate all the participation. Every board member was present at the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cavazos. The next item, that's not an action item, so the next item is an action item, and that is matters related to curriculum and instruction. Consideration of adoption of the 2015-2016 school district calendar. Veronica Corton, please.
Mr. President, board members, Dr. Cavazos, and senior team, I'm here this evening to present some information on our 2015-2016 calendar. I'm going to start by going back and providing a summary of our voting. As you know, we started our voting last Friday, and that concluded on Monday. We did have 3 options that we sent to our campus representatives for them to vote on. I want to start by thanking our Perfecting Your Practice design team, because we looked at options for the calendars, and actually that design team was able to send 3 options forward to be voted on. So what you have up on the screen is actually a summary of our voting. We did have 853 votes cast, and as you can see up on the screen, almost 50% of those votes were in favor for option 1. So if you take a look at option 1, our employee start date will be August 17th, while our students will start on August the 24th. One of the great features of this particular option is that you can see that in October we have an in-service day, and that is a perfect time for us to take a look at what we've done almost through the first quarter there and have a chance to embed some staff development at that point. You'll also see that the calendar offers a week for the Thanksgiving holiday. Our Christmas break starts from December 21st and goes through through January 4th. One of the pieces of feedback that we received from our campuses and from our district personnel is that one day coming back after the Christmas break to have to prepare for the students to transition in was very much utilized. So we do have a work day that is scheduled for that Tuesday, January the 5th. Our students come back on January 6th. You'll see that we have Martin Luther King Day off. And also in February, we do have a second staff development day. These were very strategically placed to be able to offer our teams and our campuses time to really go back and prepare for the quarter that they're in, and certainly for the rest of the school year. If you look at March, we wanted to make sure that we would have a spring break that was aligned to the RGV Livestock Show. And to the best of our knowledge and with all the information we have today, that spring break week is aligned with that event. Good Friday remains a holiday in this calendar, and you'll see that our end date is June the 3rd, which is a Friday, and we have that work day on June the 4th. Again, I want to stop and really take time to thank our design team. They did work numerous hours on looking at the 3 options that we send forward to our campus personnel for voting. I will certainly answer questions at this time if you have some on our calendar.
Mrs. Fleury, please.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
I do. Thank you. Thank you. This is excellent work. Of course, we know everybody worked really hard on it. I do have a couple of questions, though. One is that for a number of years, a while back, it seemed like the research was pretty solid about ending the first semester prior to the Christmas break. And I noticed, and there certainly are other opinions about that too, particularly I'm thinking in terms of the secondary, high school specifically. And I'm noticing that we're not doing that on 2 of the 3 calendars, and wondering what the research currently says and or the consideration of that. And then the second thing I wanted, which is on a totally different level, the feedback that we get is always that it's helpful to have a break at least one day each month. And I noticed that there are 2 on the calendar that's been selected and has been voted on by the majority. There are 2 months that we're not doing that, one of which falls right after some holidays, so I
Yes,
think
ma'am.
that's irrelevant. The other one does have a little bit more time involved, so I'm wondering what the discussion was about that. But primarily the ending of the semester, when we're ending it.
So when we looked at the days in the quarter, particularly for this calendar year that we're in currently, we did have an end date, and our first term ended in December. What we found, Mrs. Fleury, is that there was that second quarter was very intense. We needed to really, we found ourselves really looking at trying to fit everything in within that timeline, and that was really difficult in some areas. We did talk a lot about that, and we did have high school representation in middle school and elementary, but we did look at that as well. And going back and looking at September, obviously that's right off of our Christmas break, but also in looking at the span from March 28th through May 13th, we do not have a holiday. And reason being is because that is our testing season, and we look at AP calendars, we look at certainly at TEA's testing calendar as well. So we did have a lot of discussion about that. And we looked at the number of days that we're testing at each of the levels. And even with the number of days that we're testing in the spring, to look at a term that would end before the Christmas break was still very taxing on looking at the curriculum and really having that time to bring that rigor.
Thank you. So the secondary people agree.
Yeah, we did have at the table, we did have Mrs. Munivez and some representation from South as well. We wanted to certainly make sure, that we had that conversation with everybody. And the 3 calendar options that were drafted were a part of our design team committee. And we did look at a lot of the days. We talked about looking at our years at a glance and what does that look like, and making sure that we were going to be true to that. We also had to consider some items with UIL and really, really look at where are our days being utilized.
I think also one other comment I would make, that it's really important that we not just present this to our staff, but that we have adequate explanation, which I feel sure we do. But I mean, I just have to say this and cover this.
Absolutely.
I think it's very important that they understand the degree of research that was done.
We did have an opportunity to meet with our teacher advisory committee. And we did go through the rationale. What we did with our teacher advisory committee is we took time to look at each of the 3 options. We looked at the calendars at a glance, and we also went back and answered any questions they had. I understand, that it's important to really educate people on that process, and so we did just that with our teacher advisory committee. And they asked some great questions. We also looked at the number of instructional days and looked at several things that we needed to consider when we were sending forward those 3 options.
Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other comments from the board? Javier?
I just want to comment, Veronica, that great job. I mean, there's a lot of districts that don't go as far as what you all are doing. Unfortunately, that's why I have options, because it's not everyone is going to agree on a particular calendar, but you did go and the majority ruled, and I think everybody was exposed, everybody was aware, and everybody had an opportunity to voice their idea and their opinion. So I think kudos, great job, and I see that. I see option 1 as a great opportunity, and I agree with Mrs. Fleury that every month if we could put a break in there. But September, we just got out of summer holidays. Were just ending in September. I don't think they need another day. I think they need to rev up that month and start learning. So I think they'll be okay for the month of September.
And I think we looked at that a couple of years back as well, and we looked at options with the Labor Day holiday in September, and so that was the feedback.
I was thinking that early. I was thinking.
But Labor Day, we will be in session.
Yes, sir.
And Memorial Day.
And Memorial, were we last year the same?
Well, Memorial Day is usually graduation.
I mean, but Labor Day we had last year, right?
We had to do it last year. We just didn't have enough days to stretch it.
Right. And I can understand that. But first for us is Thanksgiving.
You get a whole week.
Yes,
the
sir.
First.
That's the first time.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Yeah.
The whole week.
Yeah, so that's,
And some of the things that we look at, we always look at attendance rates, and we look
Yes.
at what does that look like on a 2-day week. We also consider, we did after our Labor Day holiday, I don't recall the percentage of attendance, but we didn't hurt on that Labor Day at all. We
Right.
had a great attendance rate there as well.
Right. We'll send all those calls to Mr. Powers and to Dr. Flores.
my phone's forwarded right on to George. So.
Yeah. No, I do want to say that this is excellent. The changes that we're making with the system we have in place, as far as not finished before the Christmas holidays, make a lot of sense. Dr. Cavazos talked about the midterm examination of progress that the district is making as far as academic progress. I think that's very good. And it will allow for adjustments if you need to make even after, after the Christmas break rather than before. So I think that's very logical. I think it's, great job. I think you're in good shape.
Can I get a motion?
Make a motion for approval?
Moved by Mr. De Leon, seconded by
I second.
Mr. McShann. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? The option 1 is adopted. Right, Mr. De Leon? Option 1.
Yes, option 1.
Right, okay. All right, let's move on. Thank you, Ms. Cortan.
Thank you.
Great job. The next item is the approval of the order of election and notice of trustee election. Dr. Noyola.
Mr. Powers, Dr. Cavazos, board members, Agenda item 9A is the approval of the election order and notice of trustee election. We have place 4, Dr. Bobby Muniz, place 5, Dr. Nolan Perez, and place 6, Mr. George McShan, that are up for election on May 9th, 2015. All places are for a 3-year term. Early voting will begin on April 27th and end May 5th. Early voting will also be conducted at City Hall. At this time, are there any questions that I can answer for you?
I make a motion for approval.
Moved by Mr. De Leon,
Second.
seconded by Mrs. Fleury. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. The next one is to consider approval of interlocal agreement for joining election between the City of Harlingen and the Harlingen Consolidated Independent School District. Dr. Noyola.
As stated, agenda item 9B is the approval of a joint election with the City of Harlingen. We are required to have a joint election with a municipality within our school boundaries. We have talked to city officials and they have agreed to conduct a joint election with us. We will share the cost on the common polling places. Similar contract to what we have executed in the previous years is what we are doing at this time. Are there any questions that I can answer for you?
Mr. President, I move approval of the interlocal agreement for joining the election between the City of Harlingen and the Harlingen Consolidated Independent School District.
Second.
Moved by Mr. McShan and seconded by Mr. De Leon. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Item 9C, approval of appointment of an early voting clerk. Dr. Noyola.
Agenda item 9C, as you stated, is the appointment of the early voting clerk. The board is required to appoint an early voting clerk. We are recommending Lupita Cruz, Mr. Julio Cavazos' secretary, to be the early voting clerk. She has been the early voting clerk in past elections and has plenty of experience with elections as well. At this time, are there any questions?
Go ahead.
I move approval as recommended.
Moved for Mrs. Cruz to be our early voting clerk by Mrs. Fleury,
I'll second it.
seconded by Mrs. Young. Any further discussion?
Just that we're very fortunate to have someone so experienced and knowledgeable.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Next item is approval, the next item is matters related to human services, and the first item under that category is approval of recommended revisions to local policies as part of TASB policy review on second reading. Ms. Rosalinda Vargas.
Thank you, Mr. Powers, Dr. Cavazos, board members. I bring for your consideration and possible approval recommended revisions to local policies as part of our TASB policy review on second reading. Recommended revisions have been incorporated as discussed at our last policy audit committee meeting. Mrs. Fleury serves as our committee chair and may have additional comments this evening, and I'll be glad to answer any questions at this time.
I would just like to comment that as the board is aware, we discussed these in some detail at the policy meeting, and we went over all of them at last month's meeting for the first reading. So we do move approval as of the recommended revisions to local policies for second reading.
Moved by Mrs. Fleury,
Second.
seconded by Mr. De Leon. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Item number 11, relating to district operations, a facility report by Mr. Tapia.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Powers, members of the board. February 3rd, we had a facilities committee meeting. It was a very short meeting. The main item of discussion was the aquatic center. We got an update from the general contractor, from the project architects as to where they are on the project. We also discussed the smaller projects like the Bowie, Milam, Zavala, Travis, small restroom additions, storage additions, and some canopies, as well as the Vela Gutierrez restroom additions, small landscaping projects, and Julio Cavazos gave a construction funds financial report. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Tapia, very, very much, and thanks for staying on top of the aquatic center for us. The next item is also Mr. Tapia, is the approval of final construction payment to American Contracting USA, Inc. for the re-roofing Phase 2 project.
Yes, Mr. Powers, members of the board. This is a final payment. This was presented at the Facilities Committee meeting to American Contracting USA for $15,300 for completing the re-roofing Phase 2 project. This closes out this project so we can close it out, and we'll have a credit coming back to the district of $21,000. $650 of unused contingency funds.
Ooh.
Are there any questions?
Nice.
President, I move approval of the final construction payment to the American Contracting USA, Inc. for re-roofing Phase 2 project.
Moved by Mr. McShann.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. De Leon. All those in any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Next item is we will adjourn into closed or executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, 551.082 of the Open Meetings Act for the following purposes. One purpose only. Discuss employment of teachers and other professional staff with Mrs. Vargas. We are recessed into executive session. And that is the employment of teachers and other professional staff.
Mr. President, I move approval of the employment of teachers and other professional staff as recommended by the administration.
Been moved.
Second?
Moved by Mr. McShann. Seconded by Mrs. Fleury. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. We're adjourned. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Mr. Powers.